Hey, welcome back. Glad to have you. And I wanted to talk a little bit about leaving a legacy. So sometimes we're so busy living life, we don't even think and imagine what it's going to be like after we leave the planet. And some of our roads that we're walking are really challenging, especially if you've experienced a toxic system holding you back, repressing you, training you, programming you in a specific way. So I wanted to talk a little bit about leaving a legacy because you have value, you have worth, you have purpose, and you have meaning. You didn't sign up to come here because you're afraid and faint of heart. You came here because you are a warrior. You earned your spot. And many of us have had horrendous challenges here experiencing the effects of toxic systems. For some of us, that began very early on in our childhood. And what was crucial for me to come to at first play with and imagine and see if that felt right for me, but second, to really discern that I may have mapped this course out. I may have picked the players. I may have received the challenges and the experiences for purpose and meaning to bring healing, to bring forgiveness, and to bring soul evolution, to stop the lineage of abuse, to step out of this toxic system, and to leave a legacy. And I believe that's why you're here too. And I believe that's why you're listening to these series of videos, waking up on all levels and starting to question, why have I been so obedient? What do I really feel and believe? What's important to me? And when you're in that place, whatever causes that sort of awareness or insight, thank it. For me, it was an abusive relationship that I woke up out of that really awakened me deeply and caused me to finally go within. And going within, you're hearing that a lot lately, going within. What does that really mean? Well, for me, it meant stopping the external accolades, pursuing the perfection in the workplace, pursuing the accolades on my sports team and in fitness and levels of fitness, dropping the perfection, stopping down and breathing and going into my heart to explore how I was really feeling and to come to a place of trust and care and self love. That was hugely transformational. It made all the difference for me to be able to really step up and out of the programming of the toxic systems. It was in my ancestry, in my family line, the way that I was raised, in my educational system, in my religious system. And I was locked in these systems and continuing like a rat on a wheel until I slowed down enough, or actually, I was stopped dead in my tracks by a life experience, as is often the case. And this time, I acquiesced, I surrendered, I didn't have a choice. I said, I really need to look at what is happening to me, why this is happening, why this keeps repeating the same theme, the same scenario. And I had to go within and get free from some of the toxic programming that was wrapped around my heart and running through my brain and my mind, and start to look at things from a different viewpoint. I had to start to see that the challenge in front of me that seemed so unjust and that seemed I was a victim of was something that I needed to really clearly take a look at, to thank, to welcome in, and to explore it from every angle other than one. a victim and to surrender the rage and surrender the anger by working through it. It's not like I avoided it. I worked through it. And you may need help with that. It's a really tough thing for us to do, especially those of us trained into obedience, into these systems, never speaking up at work, always taking on more than your fair share of responsibility, staying silent and mum in your home life, placating your children, placating your spouse, serving to the point of absolute utter exhaustion until you can finally ask yourself why, and to go within and to understand I have value, I have worth, I have purpose, and I have a legacy to leave. I have toxicity to end, and I have a new way of living to leave, and an opportunity to create soul evolution here and now from a place of love. And that is truly leaving a legacy. And that is living in a new space where you are completely free from outside scenarios and the things that held you back. Your discernment comes back. You can begin to think logically. You're not just going along with the status program and the status quo, or what your neighbor thinks you should do, or what your mother thinks you should do, or what your children think you should do, or what your coworker thinks you should do. It becomes more important about how you feel and what you think. And your intuition starts becoming more prevalent. Even when somebody gives you that fast stock tip or making money tip, and you go, yeah, that doesn't feel right. I don't want to go through with that. And you say no. And maybe you think you're nuts. And then you realize that you feel like you have more solidity on the planet. You have more grounding. Your capacity to trust and love expands because you can see more clearly. And that is the amazing legacy you and I can leave behind. And it takes practice, and it takes purpose, and it takes inner work. So I want to really encourage you to set up a Taste of Freedom session with me to reiterate how this can really play out in your own life. And that session, the first one, is complimentary. Go to susangold.us to do it. There's also a free course called Signs of a Toxic Family. If you had it specifically in your family system or think you might have, and even if you're suffering from any kind of toxic system, that simple free introductory course will really give you some tools and some insight and some practicality. So I really encourage you to go there. And you can also sign up for the newsletter that goes out monthly, and also my YouTube channel, which is at Susan Gold is Magical, where you're right now. Please be sure you're subscribed, get notifications, and leave comments. We do a Q&A every month to try to get to all your questions and bring some clarity to the table as we walk this really challenging time, but great time on earth for expansion as we uncover the muck that we've been mired in and open our hearts, because the heart will lead you and you'll integrate it with your mind and your thought process. It will become clear. And I guarantee you, you will make a shift in the way that you've been living. You will get into a new zip code. You will see like you've never seen before. And I just want to applaud you because you are doing an amazing job. Amazing. This is not easy. And no, it is not for the faint of heart. And yes, you did sign up. You did come here with purpose and intent, and it will get clearer and clearer. So, bravo. Thanks for joining in. If this has made sense and helped you, try to think of someone else it might help. Please send me your questions in for the coming month's Q&A, because I know we have a lot. And I will see you next time. And remember, take good care. You and I, we are in this together.